Okay, my Doody here again. She-Hulk, episode 4. So we start off with a magician who's blatantly doing magic tricks, and he's got like straps everywhere, and it's just crap. It's just awful, blatant, crappy magician, right? So he asks for someone to help him for his next trick because, you know, they turn around and say, oh, do the trick, do the trick, do the trick. This other guy, I don't know who the other guy is, don't really know. Whether his manager or assistant or what, don't know. But anyway, calls for help from the assistant, right? So then this dumb girl sticks around and says, oh, pick me, pick me. So he picks her. And, you know, calls her up and basically opens up a portal and shoves her in. Then it cuts to Wong watching The Sopranos, a far better show than this. And then basically she drops into his couch and he goes, where did you come from? And she was like, a demon dropped me off after I give him some blood. As you do. Of course, why did the demon drop him off at Wong's house? Who knows, don't know. But, you know, and, you know, she says, oh, this is the one where Adriana dies, and spoils the show for Wong. You know, and then it cuts to Jen at her house where she moans at, oh, Wong again is in this episode. So again, you know, another cameo. Previous episode, remember that? She moaned about cameos, and here we are again. We got Wongers back into another cameo. So then, you know, she talks about, oh, this is like Twitter armor. Of course it is, because this show is shit. It's awful. So then, you know, Dad turns up with a shovel and security cameras and everything because his daughter got attacked the previous day, and she was like, you know, he goes, oh, have you told the police? And she's like, nah, you know, I ain't told the police because obviously, you know, they won't do anything. Okay, so police don't do nothing. Of course they don't. Nobody ever gets prosecuted for some reason. No wonder America's in the state it's in now. You know what I mean? Especially in democratic cities. But anyway, you know, she complains how they won't do nothing even if she makes that report. So Jen goes to work on a dating app. She's at work, she's there doing a dating app and all that garbage. Then her sister complains about how she dresses. And she's like, oh, you know, it's impossible to find clothes for She-Hulk. Right, go to a bloody tailor. Go to sort of like Big and Tall. I'm sure there's going to be something, somewhere, someone will be able to make you something. You know what I mean? It ain't rocket science, but again, you know, it's stupidity because the show writers don't know anything. So Wong pops in with his little portal and moans about this magician, right? So first of all, if this guy left the order, why does he still have his ring? Why didn't you take the ring off him? Don't know. Don't think about it. That's pretty much what this show is like. Just don't think. Right. So then she asks about evidence. Bloody hell, the first time this show even asks about any kind of evidence. He goes, did you write anything down? Blah, blah, blah. Did you get a contract? And he was like, no. Okay. Then she moans about, you know, oh, this is the American law system. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, technically, you know, I'm not even going into it, but it's just stupid. And they talk about, you know, they're on about books, right? And he goes, oh, the Book of Ashanti. And she goes, no, the American law book. Well, it's about time these show writers actually read that book to understand what it is they're actually talking about when they're filming this. So, you know, she goes, you're going to leave your contact details, and he goes, here's my card, and he's like, stupid human tricks. Right, last time I checked, Wong was a human. But there you go. Don't think about it. Just consume product. It's all fine. So for some reason they're then back to the bar where Jen's doing her work. Why are you writing law, you know, your law cases in a bar getting drunk? stupidity. Stupidity, you're a lawyer. Why are you doing all your work in a bar? But anyway, a man walks up to him, starts harassing him, saying, hey, you ladies, blah, blah, blah. You know, because again, the show doesn't know how to write men. So again, white man bad. It's always white man bad. Anyway, the assistant and Jen start talking about the dating profile, and, you know, she's like, why don't you date as She-Hulk instead of Jen? And she's like, well, I want to date, blah, blah, blah. Looks at her profile picture, and guess what? It's of a lawyer firm picture, and it's like, okay, whatever, stupid. So then, you know, it cuts then to Jen and Wong going to this magician saying, here's your cease and desist. They complain about magic and all that crap. Then they're like, all right, we'll see you in court. Yeah, very boring, very fast. Right, then Jen goes on a date with this retarded guy who's like looking at other women, and while he's on his dating app looking around, the guy doesn't even want to be there. He's not even interested. Why did he go on the date with her? Who knows? Don't care. Just crap. Right, then it cuts to the courtroom, and in the courtroom they're talking about, you know, oh, the judge goes, have you got any witnesses to how dangerous this is with this magic and all that? And she's like, hold on a minute. Right, Wong, teleport the dumb girl in. So Wong teleports a dumb girl in who's drunk. Again, not a great way to do your show, is it, really? You're bringing in a drunk witness. You're unprepared. Why didn't you get your witnesses prepared? Because you knew you would eventually need them. But again, stupidity. They don't know how to write courtroom. So the idiot woman sits on the stand. They ask about emotional damage, and, you know, she said to the security guard, here, you can have my drink. You're not supposed to drink in here. She goes, you can drink it. I'm not sick or anything. Of course, this show is so far unhinged from reality. It is unbelievable. So they goes, you know, what did you suffer? Like, you know, amazement and sadness and scariness and all this, and, you know, it's like, why? Who wrote this? This is just appallingly bad. And the magician's lawyer was like, you know what, this is fine. You know, you're supposed to be spooky and amazed through magic and all this. Well, for like, you know, normal magic, you know what I mean? And to be honest, it's a complete mockery of any court system. If this was a real court system in reality, I don't know, it should be burnt to the ground, because this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Why? Who knows why? I really don't know. This is how bad this show is, right? So then they complain, you know, one complains that this is a bad idea, that you brought the drunk girl, and Jen was like, yeah, I'm feeling this is a bad idea. Really, you should have checked with the witness first that she was willing to do it, got her story, got the evidence. You didn't do none of that. You just teleported her in while she's drunk at a party, and that got allowed as evidence. Then the magician's lawyer's like, this needs to be dismissed, not on the grounds that their only witness is a drunk woman, but because it's magic and you can't copyright magic. Right, okay. You probably can, certain tricks of the trade that, you know, but anyway, don't think about it, just consume. Anyway, Wong does a compelling speech that actually makes sense. You know, doing this, if you do it wrong, you'll absolutely destroy the fabric of reality, so on and so forth. A compelling speech. People in the courtroom are asleep, and then the dumb woman shouts, yay, case closed. The judge is like, no, it's not case closed. And then Jen's like, you know, surely we should be able to stop him from performing. Right. The main factor of this is that he's got the ring. The ring is what makes him able to do teleportation. Ask the court to take the ring off him until such a time that the courtroom has come up with a decision. That simple. You've got this stupid ring. This ring is the cause of the problems. Without this ring, he cannot create teleports, and he can't make portals and teleport people through to dimensions that they shouldn't be in. But again, don't think about it, just consume. Right. So then they're walking out the courtroom, and then again back to the Sopranos, where it's like, oh, they kill, oh, what's his name now? Where they kill Chris off, and he's like, oh, you've just spoiled it for me. Anyway, again, Sopranos is a much better show. Watch that instead of this. And I mean She-Hulk. Right. So then Jen's at home, she gets a phone call, says, oh, it's Friday night, what are you doing? You're not in your pajamas, are you? And she's like, no, of course I'm not, I'm doing dating stuff and blah, blah, blah. So she creates a profile as She-Hulk. Now, again, this next part is like, how many dates did she organise, for what time frame, for, you know what I mean? So she goes on dates with 4 people, and we're going to go through that in a minute. But she creates 4 dates with 4 different people. Who knows what time it is, it's getting late. So did she say an hour a piece? What? She did a bit of speed dating that nobody knows about. No kind of structure to what's going on with this story. Don't worry, just consume. Right, so the first date that she gets is a big bulking black man, and basically he's very aggressive. He's like, how much can you lift? Blah, blah, blah. And he's basically on, you know, he's probably sticking bloody steroids on his ass, because that's basically, you know, the kind of impression I get is a steroid junkie. Right, so then the next guy she's dating, he's blatantly an obvious homosexual. If you ain't figured that one out by looking at him, I don't know what to tell you. So again, there's 2 really bad, well, there's 3 bad choices by She-Hulk straight away, that her dating is not exactly good. So then she gets to this next guy, the third date. The third date is talking about, you know, asking her about what superpowers do you have, taking an interest in it. Bear this in mind, right? So asking about, you know, what can you do? What superpowers do you have? What can hurt you? What can penetrate you? And you're thinking, oh, he's generally interested in talking about her. But then he says, what a wonderful specimen. What man calls a woman a wonderful specimen? I just don't know. Why? I don't know. So then there's a little scene where she goes, worst dating, it's worse dating in your 30s. No, try picking decent people. Try having conversations with people before you go on dates with them. Because it seems to be that the defining factor of all your dates isn't these men you're dating, but in fact is who you are choosing. So the defining piece of thread between all this is that she picks bad men. Not that the men are bad, that she just picks bad men. So we move on to the next one. And he's like, I've been on so many dates. You know, I don't want to talk about me, let's talk about you. I'm a pediatrician, I look after children. Okay, whatever. Know what I mean? And he's like, oh, let's talk about you. Let's get some fries. Shall we split some fries? And she was like, let's get some fries to go. So instantly, not really knowing this guy, not having any kind of conversation, all he had to say to her was, let's talk about you, Jen. Let's talk about you, She-Hulk. And basically that gets him into her pants. Of course it does. Great job. Bad decisions. You know what I mean? So it then cuts to the magician man, who basically is trying to do the trick again. And basically the woman's like, nah, I ain't going in that portal. You did it to my friend and she got lost or something. Don't know, don't care. So he's like, all right, let's try something different. I got a better one. I'm going to open up another portal, and here it is. Here's an egg. And then this egg starts to hatch. And guess what comes out of it? A demon. So does this guy only know how to open portals to demons? Must be. Something sketchy there, but there you go. So he opens the portal up, because this demon's flying around, and he sends it through into the portal. Then he's just stood there like, yay, look at me, I'm so great, for a good 10, 20 seconds. And it's like, really? You know, you've just summoned a demon through, and you've pushed it back through, and you haven't closed the portal. stick it back in and close it straight away. Anybody with any kind of common sense, but no, it's a white man, he's dumb. You know what I mean? Because every white man is dumb in this show. Why? Because white man bad. So, because he's left the portal open, all these demons come flooding through. There's like 100 of them or something, I don't know. I'm not counting them, nor do I really want to spend my time doing that. So all these demons come flooding through. Ooh, wonderful. So the magician man then opens a portal to Wong's house, and he's like, Wong, you need to help me. And he's like, what have you done? You've done it again, haven't you? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he goes, anything I can do to help? Well, for starters, don't open portals. That would have been my first thing to have said to him. But no, he goes, go and get my lawyer. Okay. So obviously, you know, he didn't do that, because the scene cuts then to Jen spilling a drink on this feminist man, because he's highly feminist. It's really weird. But anyway, and she takes his shirt off. He's like, oh no, I spilt a bit of drink. I'm going to go and get some bicarbonate soda and all that and all that jazz, and try and clean it all up, because, you know, as you do. You know what I mean? I mean, it is common courtesy. You spill a drink at someone's house, you clean it up. But anyway. So the man returns after, you know, getting the bits and bobs, and he's trying to scrape, you know, wash down the thing, and his shirt, you know, She-Hulk chucks his shirt so he doesn't get his shirt, to keep him, you know, look at his pecs. So again, did She-Hulk say that, you know, that you shouldn't look at a woman and fantasize and make them a fetish and blah, blah, blah? And guess what she's doing? The exact same thing she moans about. She's looking at a man, treating him like a piece of meat. Double standards. If you can't write a show, don't bloody write one. So, you know, so he's cleaning up. Portal opens up. Wong sticks his head through, and he's like, yo, She-Hulk, come and help me. I need your help. There's loads of demons. All these demons have come through, and we need to stop them. And she's like, oh, no. So they go through the portal. She goes, oh, you know, what can I do? And Wong basically just, this is the most correct thing that this show's ever said, is you're a She-Hulk, act like one. You know, it ain't rocket science. So then, the She-Hulk's firing a demon through one at a time into these portals, while Wong says, I'm going to repair it. Don't know how he's going to repair it, but he's going to repair it. So they're like throwing one at a time, and Wong is using his magical whip thing, and he's getting a few at a time, and they're throwing them through. The only reason they did it one at a time was so Jen can moan about her date, saying, I finally found a good man. If you can call him that. There's things wrong with this, you know, but anyway, she's firing all these these demons through one at a time. She's sat there complaining about, ooh, my dates, blah, blah, blah. Woe is me. Get your little violin out and play it. You know what I mean? So anyway, and then after she's finished complaining about the crappy dates she's been on, Wong does a magical whirlwind thing and sucks all the demons into the portal. So why did Wong need She-Hulk's help? No reason whatsoever. The only reason that they pulled She-Hulk through was so she could complain about her dates. That's it. Don't think about it, just consume. Seems to be a running thing with this episode. Anyway, so they whirlwind all the things in, and then basically there's like a big super duper one that's gotten bigger because Jen smashed it against the wall and got bigger. So then use that demon, right? She is a lawyer trying to do things legally. She gets this big demon thing, puts it up to the magician, and says to the magician, if you don't sign this cease and desist, I'm gonna let this demon eat you. So she threatens this guy, the magician's life, with a giant demon thing. That's not how you're supposed to do this. So for a courtroom show, this gets worse. So, you know, then Jen gets portaled back to this man who's reading a feminist magazine. I shit you not. Honestly, go back and look at the magazine he's reading. It's a feminist magazine. Right, so she picks him up, carries him off to bed. I presume to do the hanky-panky. Why not? You know, there's other questions there. Can a penis penetrate She-Hulk's? You know, I don't know. We don't get to find out, nor do we want to be honest. So anyway, it's the morning. And Jen's in, She-Hulk is in human form. And the man's like, are you a roommate or something? She's like, no, it's me. I'm She-Hulk. I'm Jen. I'm the one that's, you know. And the guy was like, oh, what have I just slept with? You know what I mean? Which again raises questions. You know that Hulk transforms and all this. And if everybody who knows this, you know, is on TV all the time. So you know that Hulks transform and they have a human body. And he didn't think to ask what she looked like in human form. But anyway, so he got his hanky-panky, he emptied his ball bag, and for a feminist man, he was then, see you later. So he leaves. Stupid, stupid. So then, you know, there's a knock at the door, and she assumes that the feminist man's returned. And she was like, oh, you're a process server, blah, blah, blah. Right. Titania is suing She-Hulk for the name She-Hulk, right? Bear this in mind. Somehow, Titania had trademarked the name She-Hulk. Okay. Right. So, did she know about She-Hulk? Did she do this as soon as she heard that there was a She-Hulk and trademarked her name? Or did she already have this trademarked? Don't worry about it, just consume. So, you know, she's complaining that, you know, oh, you're being sued over the name She-Hulk. My name is She-Hulk. Even though the name was given to her, she was named by someone else that same name. So again, questions are raised. We'll find out next episode how this is going to go, but who knows where this one's going to go. I'm really not looking forward to it. I haven't seen it yet. So, you know, anyway, that's it. And then at the end credit scenes, and you've got a dumb woman sitting with Wongers, and asking what drinks does he like, and he's talking about vodka and yak milk. And anyway, she's like, what's your favorite drink? Gin and tonic. Let's just demasculate Wong even more. So, you know, Wongers is now a ridiculous character to me. Please, please, please put him back in Marco Polo. Get him out of the Marvel universe. Save this character. He is a brilliant actor. Marco Polo, I love that TV series, and I can't, you know, I don't think they're making another season of it, but I really wish they would, because I'd rather see that than see this shit. And then, you know, I'd rather see one kind of remain a half-decent character, but no chance, because it's Marvel and we're demasculating men. Anyway, that's me moaning about She-Hulk. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Ta-da.